greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Dre Broadcasting Network as we are bringing you the American iRacing Sunday Series, sponsored by Gen X Racing and the Precision Racing League. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are at Dover International Speedway for round number 10 of a 12-race season. I tell you, the points are kicking up. They are battling. Right now, we actually have a two-way tie for first place. Right now, sitting in the season points, first in points, is Johnny Pierce, tied with Markel Murphy, now leading your season points. Chris Perez sitting there in third position, 43 points behind. Cody Natmiller sitting there fifth. Dale Robertson sixth. Steven Johnston sitting in seventh. Dustin Hall eighth. Stephen Aguirre ninth. And John LaBeouf sitting in 10th place. Well, we are getting close to the end of the season. Just 3 races remaining, 2 after tonight, as these guys are out on qualifying right now here, getting ready for the green flag here in just a few minutes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, my name's Dave Everly. I'm going to be in the booth by myself tonight to call the action here at Dover International Speedway. These guys are out on qualifying as we speak here, getting ready to go green flag racing. So we are just going to go ahead and let these guys qualify as they are putting down their qualifying times at this time with just 2 minutes left until we switch over from qualifying into race mode. We are going to have 140 laps tonight here at Dover. It's going to be a quick one because Dover is only a mile track here, but these guys got to watch out for Miles the Monster because he will reach out and bite you if you are not careful. This is definitely a driver's track, so not only are they going to be fast, but they're going to be wheeling those machines around. as we are approaching just over 1 minute left in qualifying. Just a little bit left to go, so right now we have got the 10 of Daniel Wilburn on the pole right now with a 22.479. Once again, you are watching the American iRacing Sunday Series sponsored by Gen X Racing with the Precision Racing League. If you are definitely interested in checking them out at the end of the season, they are going to have a Race Your Way In, so you can check them out at precisionracingleague.com. Right now, only the 48 of Markel Murphy out on the track. So it looks like right now we had 11 drivers put down qualifying times here tonight, as we are now just 15 seconds here until they will start the gridding process. Well, we are now finished with qualifying. We are going to be moving into gridding. Gridding here, we're going to give them a few minutes to get gridded up, and then we're going to go over tonight's starting order here at Dover. Well, let's go down tonight's starting order. Starting on the pole is going to be the 10 of Daniel Wilburn. Dustin Hall starting on the outside of the front row. Johnny Pierce starting third. Craig Hawkins in fourth. Starting fifth tonight, the 19 of Matthew York. Colton Lane starting in the sixth position. Starting seventh, the 11 of Brandon Massey. Dale Robertson starting in eighth. Starting ninth tonight will be Eric Roberts, Jeffrey Ford, rounding out your top 10. Starting 11th, Ken Caruthers. James O'Brien starting in 12th position. Starting 13th, Markel Murphy. Stephen Aguiar starting in your 14th position. 15th will be Eddie Hawks. 16th will be Chris Perez. John LaBeouf starting 17th. Austin Moore 18th. Adam Chapman starting 19th. Trevor Wright starting in the 20th position. Then Derek Pemberton starting 21st. And Ronald McManus rounding out your field starting in 22nd position. As the pace car rolls them off of pit road. That's right, we are getting ready to go green flag racing here at Dover for the first time tonight. 140 laps. Taking a look at their pit windows, it looks like their pit windows is going to be right about 50 to 55 laps under green flag conditions. Taking a look at tonight's weather, it is track temperature of 113 degrees with 84 degrees outside. Got pretty high humidity, clear conditions, and the wind out of the east at 6.20 miles. As the race car is bringing them around the field here, getting ready to go green flag racing for the first time tonight. Pace car is off. Daniel Wilburn keeping them at pace speed as they bunch it up, ready to go green flag racing here. On Diggity Dog, the green flag is out and off they go. The 10 of Daniel Wilburn getting off to a good jump with Johnny Pierce now battling Dustin Hall for that second position is Dustin Hall is going to be starting on the outside there. As they are going to get the single file here, go back through the field. We still have the 3 of Dale Robertson battling the 60 of Colton Lane, with Jeffrey Forge right there in 7th position, battling it out. As these guys trying to get single file here because they got to watch that bump out of turn number 4. Taking a look at our chat. Welcome everybody out there in the chat. We've got Joe White from OSR Network. What's up, man? How you doing? Hope you have a good race there tonight. Also sitting there, Trackside Racing Network, rooting on Overtake, and of course Scopes out there as well. How y'all doing? Definitely keep hitting the chat up. I'll try to get to you as soon as I can. But back to the race. Daniel Wilburn still leading the race here as he's got a pretty good gap over 2nd place of Dustin Hall. Johnny Pierce sitting there in 3rd as these guys are starting to get spread out a little bit here in tonight's race. Normally, ladies and gentlemen, I have Sean Zulu up here in the booth with me, but he was not able to come out tonight. Had some previous plans, so unfortunately, you're probably just going to have to hear my voice all night. I know, it's pretty bad, but life goes on. Taking a look here, not really too many battles here as Jeffrey Ford's being overtaken by the 48 of Markel Murphy and the 28 of Eric Roberts. Looks like that inside lane's going to be the place to be there. King Carruthers sitting there on the inside as he is trying to get to the inside of the 1 of James O'Brien. But look at James O'Brien using that outside as he powers past the 95 of Jeffrey Ford, moving up into the 9th position. Just 5 laps in here, so these guys are still getting a feel for the track. It is going to change as the race goes on, that's for sure. A little further back here, looks like Jeffrey Ford in jeopardy of losing another position to the 911 and John LaBeouf. Is John LaBeouf moving up into 9th after starting in the 12th position. So he's already gained a few positions here. A little further back here, Trevor White looking to the inside of Chris Perez. Also the 9 of Austin Moore sitting there as well. As these guys are getting really close to that wall there coming out of turn number 2. Nine laps already completed. These guys running right about 23 to 24 second lap times here tonight. They are going to get slowed down here. But I tell you right now, the guy putting the point on is going to be the 37 of Dustin Hall. Was able to get around the 10 of Daniel Wilburn and take that lead away here. So Dustin Hall now leading his first laps here as he is actually already starting to pull away from the 10 of Daniel Wilburn. Field pretty much spread out now here as they are just kind of jockeying. As we see the 95 of Jeffrey Ford starting 10th position tonight, losing 4 positions, running all the way back here in the 14th position as we are right now. Austin Moore starting in 18th up to 15th as he is going to be trying to get around that 95 of Jeffrey Ford to break inside the top 14. Tell you what, see a lot of great paint jobs out here tonight. These guys must have been working hard in the garage here, getting these paints ready for these races. Ronald McMahon is sitting there in 19th up from 22nd position here. Still a lot of race to go. 128 laps left remaining here tonight. Tell you, Dover here is one of my favorite tracks, but it is definitely a difficult track here, especially turn 4. There's a bump there in the track. If you hit it, it's going to upset your car. Next thing you know, you're going to go around right into the wall. James O'Brien sitting right there from 12th, moving up into 9th as he is trying to work his way through the field here. Last season's champion, not having the greatest season so far here tonight, as he is currently sitting in, as finding here on the points, currently sitting 30th in points right now. Not having the best season like he did last year, but he's always out here trying to do the best that he can. And a little bit of a hornet's nest back here, about 14th position as these guys are riding. Here, pretty single file, not really seeing anybody trying to make moves right now. Colton Lane there, as we see the 60 machine of Colton Lane make contact with the wall. He's able to keep it off there and keep it going there as he's riding behind the 3 of Dale Robertson, who has moved up from 8th into the top 5, but he's got Colton Lane right there behind him. Johnny Pierce sitting there in 3rd as he is now working on the 8 machine. That is actually Steven Aguiar, who is currently 4 laps down already here tonight. I'm not sure, he may have missed the start, but he is already 4 laps down here. Looks like he had to go down onto pit road already for some service. He has already been on pit road once here tonight. Going back up front here, Dale Robertson still under fire from the 60 of Colton Lane as they are side by side coming out of turn number 2 here. So they are battling it out. They want that, Colton Lane wants that number 5 spot. Dale Robertson going way high. Colton Lane on the inside is going to clear him out of turn number 4 as they come to the start finish line. Daniel Wilburn is caught back up to our race leader, the 37 of Dustin Hall, as they are battling it out for that top position. Brandon Massey looks like he's got a little damage there to the right front of his car. Made some contact with the wall. He is currently running back in 21st position after starting in 7th position. Jeffrey Ford running in 15th position and just inside the top 15 there. It's the 96 of Adam Chapman right there in front of him. 911 of John LaBeouf trying to get around the 77 of Ken Carruthers as he is going to just edge him out. He is going to complete that pass, moving his way up into the top 10 for the first time here tonight. Coming right along with him is going to be the 45 of Eddie Hawks. He is going to move into that number 11 spot as they were able to get around the 77 of Ken Carruthers here on lap 23. We take a look here from the Goodyear blimp as these guys are going around. Looks like Colton Lane's having a little bit of a connection issue as he's blinking in and out. Matthew York sitting right there in 4th as he can see the 16 of Johnny Pierce, but there's right about 1.2 second gap in between them. What is up, guys? Glad you could come in and check us out here on the Dre Broadcasting Network as we are bringing you live action here at Dover International Speedway with the American iRacing Sunday Series, sponsored by Gen X and the Precision Racing League. Going back out front, the 10 of Daniel Wilburn. He has been able to get around the 37 of Dustin Hall to take over the lead here tonight. as we are on lap 26, about halfway through our fuel run for the first set of laps here. We are still under green flag conditions, 115 laps yet remaining. These guys still putting pretty good lap times down, about low 24s, as they are battling out. Daniel Wilburn leading 11 laps here tonight. Dustin Hall leading 15. Johnny Pierce sitting right there in third, just kind of watching, just kind of riding. He's still got a long race to go. Looks like we actually have two drivers there kind of retiring for the night, taking their cars behind the wall. The 60 of Colton Lane down behind the wall, and the 77 of Ken Carruthers down behind the wall, calling it in for an early night tonight. Some new members out there in the chat. We got Noah Burnett and we got Broderick S out there. No, Broderick, this is actually a motorsports simulator, iRacing.com. Not the real thing, but it's about as close as you can get other than jumping into a legit race car. Meanwhile, we have the 10 of Daniel Wilburn. He's looks like the 8 of Stephen Aguiar trying to get one of his laps back, currently 4 laps down. As he is to the inside of Daniel Wilburn, he is going to get a lap back. That is going to put him back 3 laps down here on lap 30. Do believe we were told here tonight about these guys will be able to do about 50 to 55 laps on the tank of fuel. So we got about 20 to 25 laps before we start seeing our first round of green flag pit stops. 30 laps in the books, no cautions so far tonight. So these guys putting on a pretty good show here, but the field is pretty spread out. So I think once we see the green flag pit stops, though, it's going to shake the field up a little bit. As we take a look at this little hornet's nest here, it looks like it is being led by the 23 of Greg Hawkins. He has got Brandon Massey in the 15th position right behind him. Derek Pemberton sitting there in 16th. Trevor White 17th. Ronald McMahon is sitting there in 18th. And Chris Perez sitting there in 19th as the 21 of Trevor White looking to the outside of the 81 of Derek Pemberton, coming out of turn number 2, coming down the backstretch here. So looks like Trevor White is going to complete that pass on him. And he's also going to be bringing the 78 of Ronald McManus, as it looks like the 81 is going to stop him from being able to come around him. But look again, there's the 8 man, the 8 of Stephen Aguiar. He is on a mission here, currently 3 laps down, as he is trying to get around the field, get back out on the lead lap. Right now, Chris Perez is sitting in the lucky dog spot. He is the first car a lap down. So if a caution was to come out, he would be getting back on his lead lap. Back up front, Matthew York moving up into the 4th position after starting 5th. So he's gained 1 position. But Dustin Hall, he started 2nd. He's currently running in 3rd. Johnny Pierce, as it looks like the leaders now coming in through traffic here, is Daniel Wilburn starting to work around traffic. So that's going to slow him down and allow the guys behind him to hopefully close that gap. But it looks like he's having no trouble here getting around the field, as we now only have 15 cars left on the lead lap. 104 laps remaining here tonight. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go ahead and take our first commercial break of the night. So I am going to go ahead and give everybody a chance to refill their drinks, refill their snacks. We'll be right back here on the Dre Broadcasting Network with the American iRacing Sunday Series, sponsored by Gen X Racing.
Don't let your first date be your last. Visit People Against Distracted Driving at padd.org.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we are back here at Dover. We are under caution right now. Our first caution of the night is our leader, the 19, Matthew York, coming down the pit road here. Got a lot of cars going to need a wave around here, as a lot of cars had already come down on pit road when the first caution came out. here on lap 47, 94 laps remaining here tonight. So it'll be interesting to see how this is going to play out. Right now, currently being led by the 19 of Matthew York. Markel Murphy sitting there in second. Dale Robertson up into third. Daniel Wilborn now in fourth position. And Eric Roberts rounding out your top five right now as we are working under our first caution here tonight. Once again, I want to thank everybody for tuning into the Dre Broadcasting Network and the American iRacing Sunday Series, sponsored by Gen X Racing and Precision Racing League. Also would like to thank iRacing.com for putting us on their live portal. So thank you for once again tuning in to the Dre Broadcasting Network as we are starting to gear up for a second round of seasons here with only 2 races left after tonight in this particular league here before we will crown a champion. Right now, with the point standing, Johnny Pierce, Markel Murphy are tied for first place. Johnny Pierce running in the 7th position. Markel Murphy currently running in the 2nd position. I do believe we should be getting the 1 to green next time by, ready to drop the green flag once again. Matthew York, after qualifying in 5th position, now leading the last 5 laps here at Dover. So let's see how he does once he gets into clean traffic, because all the cars in front of him are going to be getting back on the lead lap. That's going to be James O'Brien, Austin Moore, Trevor White, Craig Hawkins, Chris Perez. They're all going to be going right there as they're going to get the wave around here. As we should be we are 1 to green as they are getting the wave around the pace car, putting them back on the lead lap. That's 12 cars currently on the lead lap. Actually, I do apologize. We only have 7 cars on the lead lap. James O'Brien, Austin Moore, Trevor White, Craig Hawkins, Chris Perez were 2 laps down. Now back to 1 lap down here, so they are going to be battling trying to get back on the green lead lap here as we are getting ready to go green flag racing here once again here on lap 50 of 140. Also want to give out a shout to Jim X. That's JIMEXS.com. Your source for off-road lighting equipment. Pace car bringing them out of turn 4. Looks like we are going to go around one more time. Yes, it is. They are going to extend it as the lights are off on the pace car. So we will be going green flag racing next time around as they are going to get lined back up side by side here with the 19 Matthew York on the inside, the 48 of Markel Murphy starting on the outside. We have about 20 more laps, then we'll hit the halfway point of tonight's race here as these guys are battling it out as we are coming on the close of the season. Will we have a new season champion? That is the question that's going to be answered in just 2 more races after tonight. And they are going to have some races because we got Pocono next week, October 15th. Then, of course, the season finale, October 22nd at Homestead, Miami, as the pace car is off. We are back green flag racing here at Dover International Speedway. We are being led by the 19 of Matthew York. Gets out to a good jump. Markel Murphy sitting there in second. Dale Robertson third. Fourth is going to be the 28 of Eric Roberts. Jeffrey Ford moving up into the 5th position. As we see the one of James O'Brien making some moves as he is getting around the 911. The 911 of John the Buff here as he is trying to get back on the lead lap as he is riding right behind the 95 of Jeffrey Ford. All these drivers currently 1 lap down or more. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's give you a special treat here. We are going to give you a treat. That's right, we are going to do the crank it up cam, so make sure you turn that sound up and listen to these cars roar. As we heard those engines roar there for the last few laps, but one thing we've seen, the 48 Markel Murphy now out in the race lead as he was able to get around the 19 Matthew York. Dale Robertson sitting there in third position just behind 19 of Matthew York. He is sitting in a good podium position there. Dale, we usually see him towards the back of the field, but look at him, he is out front. He is wanting to lead here. Eric Roberts sitting there in fourth position. Johnny Pierce dropping back into fifth. Daniel Wilborn is currently sixth. Jeffrey Ford seventh. These guys putting down some good lap times here. Probably got about another. We saw most pit stops starting to occur around 40 laps, so I don't think these guys are quite going to run the 50 laps, but looking as we got 81 laps to go, I think these guys are going to need at least one more pit stop to be able to make it. Question is, will it be under green flag conditions or yellow? Because this is one of the tough tracks here as we are 80 laps to go. Just 10 laps from the midway point of tonight's race. As we take a look here towards the back, Trevor White running back in the 11th position. As he is working, trying to get to the 23 of Craig Hawkins to get back inside that top 10. Austin Moore sitting running there in 9th. James O'Brien, he is back up to 8th position, but still 1 lap down as he gets around the 16 of Johnny Pierce. So he is trying to get his lap back the hard way. Definitely one of the faster guys tonight, but I tell you what, Dustin Hall, the 37, he has put down the fastest lap time tonight with a 22.750. Taking a look at the best lap times of the night, he is the only driver that's been able to get down into the 22s. A lot of 23 flats, 23 ones, but he is the only driver so far tonight to get his car down into a 22.759 lap time. John LaBeouf, he is in a battle right now with the 9 of Austin Moore. Unfortunately, John LaBeouf is 2 laps down, and the 9 of Austin Moore currently 1 lap down. James O'Brien, as I said, he is now battling once again with the 16 of Johnny Pierce. He is sitting in the lucky dog spot, so if the yellow flag was to come out, he would be getting the lucky dog position back on the lead lap. I tell you, watching these guys all season, it has been a pleasure. These guys have battled out all season here, as Matthew York was able to get back around the 48 of Markel Murphy, taking back over the lead here. So we've got Daniel Wilborn leading 27 laps, Dustin Hall leading 15, Matthew York leading 14 laps, and Markel Murphy leading 9 laps here tonight, as we are close to approaching the halfway point with just 74 laps to go. Taking a look through here, through the field, not really seeing any joint. Oh no, I'm not sure which car that is, but I think that was the 45 of Eddie Hawks here. He is down on pit road. So we are going to hit the Dre Broadcasting instant replay here. See if we can see what happened to the 45 of Eddie Hawks. As it looked like he made contact with the barrels on pit road entrance here. As we see him coming into turn 3, he is smoking heavily. He blew that engine. Looked like he was trying to get down onto pit road and just slammed right into that inside wall. But unfortunately, it was off the track. So it kept us green flag racing. But unfortunate there for the 45 of Eddie Hawks. As we are now on lap 69, 72 laps to go. Still being led by the 19 of Matthew York, as he is starting to get into this lap traffic here. As we see the 48 of Markel Murphy right behind him, trying to get up to his bumper here to contend for that lead. So he is hoping that lap traffic slows down to 19 of Matthew York, but it doesn't look like it's working. We are now reached the halfway point of tonight's race. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the halfway point. These guys are right about 24, 25 laps since their last pit stop. So we have about another 20 laps here before that pit window. Actually, yeah, we got about another 30 laps before that pit window opens. Between 40 and 50 laps here, so they can make it on fuel. I wonder if these guys are going to run it dry, but we are going to go ahead and step away for our second commercial break of the night. We'll be right back here to the Dre Broadcasting Network.
iRacing, you wanted the best, you got them for abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Dre Broadcasting Network and the American iRacing Sunday Series, sponsored by Gen X Racing and Gem XS as well. We are here past the midway point under caution at this time. We are under our second caution of the night here on lap 84 with just 57 laps to go. We are still being led by the 19 of Matthew York. Markel Murphy in second. Daniel Wilburn moving up into the third position. Johnny Pierce fourth. Eric Roberts rounding out your top five. We are coming here on the close, just 57 laps to go. 19 of Matthew York making his way down onto pit road. It looks like all the leaders are going to come down onto pit road here for their second pit stop here of the night, but I do believe they're going to have to stop at least one more time here tonight. One of James O'Brien, he is going to get the lucky dog. That is going to put him back on the lead lap as he gets a waved around the pace car as the lucky dog. He is back on the lead lap here tonight. So that is going to put him back up into 8th position. Some new members to the chat. How you doing, Chief? Thanks for checking in again. Yeah, still trying to keep it looking good. Abaslatic, how you doing there, bud? Glad to see you back here for the American iRacing Sunday Series with the Precision Racing League. Matthew York is going to win the race off of pit road. Markel Murphy second. Daniel Wilburn third. Johnny Pierce sitting in fourth. That is actually going to move. It looks like the one of James O'Brien's going to jump up into fifth, but I do believe he is going to come down pit road for 4 tires and a tank of fuel. You're going to go back green flag racing with about 54 laps remaining in the race here at Dover. As most of you know, you're used to hearing Sean Zulu out there, but he was not able to make it tonight, so I am your commentator here tonight. So I'm not used to being in this position, but I'm trying the best that I can. So I definitely appreciate everybody tuning in here on the Dre Broadcasting Network. Matthew York, man, out front here, now leading 34 laps. He has taken over the most laps led here tonight. Is Markel Murphy second, Daniel Wilburn, though he is sitting right there in third. He has led 27 laps here tonight. Let's take a look at our race reports so far here tonight. Well, we are 2 cautions in and 5 lead changes here tonight, so these guys still got 55 laps to go, so anything could change. Anybody can still win this race. As we take a look here at the pace car, should be going back 1 to green. Yes, lights are off on the pace car. We are back 1 to green here at Dover International Speedway. 23 of Craig Hawkins is going to get the wave around. That is going to put him back on the lead lap as well, but he's got 44 laps since his last pit stop. So he is going to have to come down pit road here, probably within at least next 5 to 10 laps. Pace car bringing them out of turn 2, being led by the 19 of Matthew York. Markel Murphy is going to start on his outside. Daniel Wilburn starting inside row 2. Johnny Pierce on the outside of row 2. Eric Roberts on the inside of row 3. Dale Robertson on the outside of row 3. As we are coming into turn 4, pace car will be making that hard left down on the pit road. Pace car dipping down into pit road. 19 of Matthew York wasting no time getting onto that jump. Also the 48 of Markel Murphy, a good jump. As Daniel Wilburn's going to settle right there into 3rd position. Eric Robertson 4th, Johnny Pierce 5th, but there's a little bit of a battle right behind him. Is the 3 of Dale Robertson sitting there in 6th, Jeffrey Ford 7th. As we see a little bit of a hornet's nest right there. As we see the 8 machine of Stephen Aguiar 3 laps down. He is trying to get back on the lead lap. The 1 of James O'Brien right there in that mix as well. He is the last car here on the lead lap as well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, looks like Sean Zulu was able to make it here tonight, so I want to everybody welcome Sean Zulu here to the broadcast.
Thank you very much, Dave. How are you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good. Pretty good race here so far here at Sean. Only 2 cautions so far, as we are now just 51 laps remaining in tonight's race.
Oh, absolutely. Dover International Speedway. Monster Mile, I'm guessing, Dave, you've told them. Oh, to contact 95. Jeffrey Ford sideways, entering turn 3, rear-ended by the 1 of James O'Brien. Chain effect off turn 4. The green flag somehow stays out. But 95, Jeffrey Ford not happy. 1, James O'Brien not happy either. But that was a nice save by both drivers.
Yeah, that's one thing about this league. They got a lot of talented drivers. James O'Brien's got some heavy damage on that front end. Good thing it's only a 1-mile track. And as you said, Jeffrey Ford, though, he's got some heavy damage there to his rear end as well.
Yeah, absolutely, but luckily enough, that damage is nowhere near the left front or the right front. So with that said, that should not affect his rotation or the rotation of the machine whatsoever. But so far behind him is the 60 of Coton Lane, but no harm done from Coton Lane, because Coton Lane unfortunately is 7 laps down in 14th place, while Jeffrey Ford is in 7th place. Only 1 spot ahead of the driver, who is the last driver on the lead lap, the 1 of James O'Brien. But up front there, Matthew York so far dominating so far. He is 3/10 ahead of 2nd place driver 48 of Markel Murphy, and is trying his best to increase that lead. And looking at the track temp here, Dave, 109 degrees Fahrenheit. I should admit, that's not the it's not the best racing condition, but it's gonna do.
Yeah, it makes it a little slick there, but I tell you what, if you look there through the turns, you can see the lanes these drivers have been going, because they have been laying that rubber down, as you can see the dark marks. So, but unfortunately, that takes away from their traction and makes these vehicles a little slick.
Yeah, absolutely. Gonna be on their toes driving every single lap this far. 95 laps in, only 45 laps remaining, and with a 60% fuel limit. And I'm not sure, Dave, what the fuel pit window is, but did you experience it yet?
Well, I have seen a lot of drivers go 44, 46 laps on a tank of fuel. So technically, we are right about into that pit window where they could pit and make it the remainder of the way on fuel.
Oh, copy. That sounds like a plan. And looking at it right now, this is interesting, Dave. I'm not sure if this is some kind of glitch on my end, but it's showing the top two drivers, Matthew York and Markel Murphy, having 97 laps since their last pit stop. Well, is that right?
No, they were only about 12 laps since the last caution when they came down and got pit. So, but I have a feeling that within the next 10 laps, we may see some people trying to pit in early, get those fresh tires and fuel, because this is a track that'll definitely eat up your tires.
Oh, absolutely. It reminds me of the track such as Kansas, the One Groove racetrack. You have to make those moves while you can, while the tires are still fresh, because once those tires go, it will become icy loose. It's like driving on ice, pretty much. And it's gonna be, I encourage a lot more single file racing. And so far, 16 of Joni Pierce. Oh man, he's in a class of 3 of Dale Roberts on the 8. Right behind him, Steven Aguiar, 28, Eric Roberts. These guys have found a roadblock and they're trying their best to get away from each other. But so far, having no luck, Eric Roberts taps the apron, goes way wide off the exit of turn 4, and gets taken advantage of by the 911 of John LaBeouf. And John LaBeouf is in the 11th place spot, 2 laps down, and so far he is trying to get his lap back the hard way, because so far at the same time we have 2 drivers racing for the Lucky Dog, Trevor White and Chris Perez, 9th and 10th respectively, and they are about on the track. Can't really tell how they're actually being shown about 4 seconds apart, so the battle between them here will be brewing as soon as they catch each other. And Dave on pit road, James O'Brien pitting in this time by, and this will encourage a lot more drivers to do the same.
Yeah, it looks like he's got some heavy damage though, so he's coming down. He may have blown a motor with all that front end damage.
Actually, that's a very good point, Dave. His speed is decreasing, the engine, the machine is quiet, it's silent, which means the motor is not running. I'm gonna try and look at it on my end here and see exactly what might have happened. Oh, yep, Dave. The damage that he sustained there from getting into the back of 95 of Jeffrey Ford, it wasn't his fault at all. 95 of Ford was sideways and slowed down at a fast rate, and James had nowhere to go. But the damage that he sustained on the front end was interrupting the airflow to cool that motor, which meant those gauges started blinking red, and before he knew it, some serious black smoke from the rear end with a loud boom, and that machine is done. And unfortunately, James O'Brien is retiring for the night. I look forward to seeing him again back for our next week's race at Pocono Raceway. And Dave, next week's race is going to be race number 11, the race before the end of the season.
Yeah, just 2 more races after tonight. I was telling the folks about coming into this race, we actually had a tie for first place between Markel Murphy and Johnny Pierce. Both tied for the season point standing right now.
Absolutely, gonna try and break that tie here. This race is going to determine that. And speaking of Markel Murphy and Johnny Pierce, these 2 drivers are nose to tail, about 4 seconds apart. So Markel Murphy is in 3rd place, Johnny Pierce 4th place, and yeah, Johnny's damage there on the right side, most likely affecting the rotation of that machine, which means he has to use less speed through the turn to help that machine rotate and make sure that wall does not hug him, because once again, these walls do want to claim these drivers, and these drivers are trying their best to stay off these walls. and Johnny Pierce hard at work trying his best to run down Markel Murphy. And speaking of Markel Murphy, there's been a position change. Last time we checked on Murphy, he was in second place. That was about 10 laps ago. But Daniel Wilborn was able to get around him and took over the second place spot. And now Daniel Wilborn's next victim is the leader, the 19 of Matthew York.
Yeah, Matthew York's already led 56 laps here tonight. Daniel Wilburn leading 27. Dustin Hall 15. Markel Murphy all leading 9 points. So all 4 of those drivers definitely got a bonus point for leading a lap.
Yeah, I want to congratulate all these drivers for leading a lap. You know, these points, we always say, talk about this for all those new viewers who might not know this. And if you are new to the Dre Broadcasting Network, welcome to the Dre Broadcasting Network. And if you're not new, you're coming back. Welcome back to the Dre Broadcasting Network. We are very, very happy to have you. And we always talk about how since the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series does not have a chase series, that means it's all determined, it's all about the points in this case. So with that said, those bonus points they get do take them a very, very long way in the long run. They do act as a safety barrier, and they're there to hold the driver's hands in case the drivers are about to fall. And these drivers do know that, so any chance they get to get a bonus point, they will take it. And so far, 28 of Eric Roberts in the 5th place spot. He is 2 seconds ahead of his next victim, or his next opponent, the 3 of Darrell Robertson, who is in 6th. And Robertson will be trying to take away that spot away from him. And Robertson right now actually battling the 9th level of John LaBeouf. LaBeouf ends up propelling past him off turn number 2, and the gap will increase. But once again, no harm done between Robertson and John LaBeouf, because John LaBeouf is 2 laps down. Robertson still on the lead lap.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have 29 laps to go. We're going to take this time to take our final commercial break of the night so that we can bring you the conclusion here tonight from Dover International Speedway of the American iRacing Sunday Series, sponsored by Gen X and Precision Racing League. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series, brought to you by GymX.com and GenXRacing.com. This is round number 10 of 12 at Dover International. And with that said here, so far these drivers still trying their best not to get claimed by the exit of turn number 4. And green flag pit stops. Well, we just had a driver pit in 2 laps ago, and that was the 911 of John LaBaffe. And John LaBaffe right now is currently in 11th place and being shown 4 laps down. But once everybody pits in, he will be able to get those 2 laps back that he just lost, and we'll be back down to 2 laps down. And it's only a matter of time before everybody else starts to follow John LaBaffe's lead. And so far we have, let's see, 4 drivers. Make that 5 drivers on the lead lap, still needing to pit in, namely Daniel Wilborn, who just took over the race lead away from Matthew York himself, Joni Pierce, Markel Murphy, and Eric Roberts. These 5 drivers on the lead lap still need to pit in, and same with everybody else, except for the 911 of John LaBaffe. And 17 laps left. Dave, it's go time. And these guys are going to try and be in the best spot possible. And at this point, we're way past the halfway mark. 15 laps to go. These drivers know the limits of these machines. They know what they can and cannot do. And with that said, that's going to mean a lot more floorboard racing. Oh, John LaBaffe is pushing that sucker to the limit. He's going sideways off turn 4. That was almost ugly. A nice save by him. He gets on the inside of 28 of Eric Roberts. And Eric Roberts lets him go by unharmed. And once again, Eric Roberts still in the lead lap with 41 laps on his tires. John LaBaffe on fresh stickers and putting down some serious lap times, breaking land speed records as we speak, breaking the lap timer as we speak. They're going to have to replace that once the race ends, thanks to John LaBaffe and Matthew York, 2.6 seconds behind Daniel Wilborn. And going back to Daniel Wilborn, he's been quite dominant. You know, he's been a latecomer this season, but he's been quite dominant ever since he came out. And the caution flies on lap 127 with 14 laps to go. We will back it up and see who might have been involved. Ooh, 78 of Ron McManus, heavy smoke from the rear end. I believe he was involved in that. Yes, he was. And it involved the 37 of Dustin Hall at the same time. So let's focus on 78 of Ron McManus, Dave, and see what happened.
As we take a look at the replay, he was battling with the 37 of Dustin Hall. Looks like he got into that outside wall, pushed him right down into the 37 of Dustin Hall. Nowhere to go. That is going to bring out our 3rd caution here of the night. That is probably going to give us right about 9 laps to go, a 9-lap shootout for the checker flag.
Oh man, the fewer laps we get, the more intense it will become. And at this point, it makes me wonder if we're going to have a 9-lap shootout. Maybe, Dave, the drivers who have not yet pitted in might be able to get away with staying out. Maybe they might be able to save enough gas under caution to just have a heck of a shootout.
Well, we got currently just 2 drivers, 1 lap down. That's going to be the 21 of Trevor White and the 41 of Chris Perez. They've got about 42, 43 laps on their tires and fuel, so it'll be interesting to see if they can save enough fuel to make it. But it looks like they are going to stay out. They are going to try a strategy run here and save some fuel and be able to make it.
Absolutely. And the leaders, Daniel Wilborn down to Jeffrey Ford, they've all gone down pit road. And yeah, some of these drivers you talked about who stayed out, they are being shown a lap down. Oh, Trevor White gets away from the pace car, back on the lead lap on lap 129 with 12 laps remaining. Great job to Trevor White with the amazing paint scheme, the Brake Mod paint scheme, one of the sponsors, last season sponsors there with Jean-Francois Champagne. And once again, this season, the American iRacing Sunday Series by the Precision Racing League is brought to you by GymX.com. GymX. Check them out. It's spelled JIMEXS.com. It's on the top right of your screen. Gen X Racing as well is a sponsor as well of the season, and Gen X Racing is an iRacing based racing team, and they do run a lot of different series on iRacing, so check them out at genxracing.com. And some Gen X drivers are with us here with the Precision Racing League this season. Well, here up front, we are still being led by Daniel Wilborn, and right behind the pace car this far, we have John LaBeouf, Brandon Massey, and 41 of Chris Perez. Chris Perez is going to be getting a once he gets the waiver on the pace car with the 1 to go mark, he'll be back on the lead map. That's Steven Aguiar, John LaBeouf. They're both 3 laps down, 10th and 11th, so they'll be racing for position. And the good thing for John LaBeouf at this point is that he already pitted in, so with that said, he won't have to worry about pitting in anymore. And he will actually be back to 2 laps down. Yeah, once he gets over on the pace car, he'll be back to 2 laps down. So therefore, he'll be way better off than Steven Aguiar. Steven Aguiar is in the back of the field and will be staying 3 laps down. We'll be going 1 to green shortly.
Yeah, should be going 1 to green next time around here. I don't know if anybody has anything for Daniel Wilburn, because when he's been out front, he has been dominant. But I tell you what, Markel Murphy sitting right there in 2nd place. Johnny Pierce sitting there in 7th. As we know, those 2 guys are tied for the points lead right now. But if it was to end right now, Markel Murphy would be taking over the season points lead as of the end of this race if it was to end right now.
Absolutely. I bet he wishes that. And going over these drivers' race teams, Johnny Pierce once again is tied with Markel Murphy for the lead, and Johnny Pierce representing the Simtech Racing team. Markel Murphy, Flat Out Motorsports. Chris Perez, Big D's Racing. Colton Lane, Forward Lane Motorsports. Cody Knapmiller, Gen X Racing. Dale Robertson, Big D's Racing. Steven Johnston, Gen X Racing. Dustin Hall, Simtech Racing. Steven Aguiar, Wrangler Motorsports, and John LaBeouf in the No Fear Racing team. Well, we are now back 1 to green. Yes, we are being led still by the 10 of Daniel Wilborn, the post sitter. Markel Murphy starting on his right on the outside line, leading the outside with the help of the 28 of Eric Roberts. Beside Eric Roberts is the 19 of Matthew York, starting right behind the leader, the 10 of Daniel Wilborn. A 9-lap shootout on the way, ladies and gentlemen. Hang on to your seats. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Hang on tight. And the pace car does dip off. Wilborn holds pace speed up. He does put it down the floor. He does catch them off guard off turn number 4. Oh, the 20 of Eric Roberts gets to the wall off the exit of 4. Oh man, he will lose the little bit of speed he was about to gain there. And because of that, he gets overtaken by the 3 of Darryl Robertson and is getting freight trained so far, trying to get back up to speed. And Johnny Pierce who's inside. They make contact. Johnny Pierce and Eric Roberts, they exchange some paint, but no harm done. They'll most likely try and get that back or give the paint to the rightful owners before the race is over. But so far, Pierce now hunting down the 3 of Dale Robertson for position number 4 as we speak.
Yeah, just 8 laps to go here, so we got about 4 laps here. If the flag comes out after they complete 4 laps, that's going to end the race under yellow. So it'll be interesting to see as Markel Murphy now in 3rd as he has got passed by the 19 of Matthew York. Matthew York trying to track down Daniel Wilborn as we are coming here in the closing stages of tonight's race.
And Dave for the back in the pack. Jeffrey Ford having some trouble getting a groove at the moment, but looks like he might have it under control. Just going to be taken by the 8 of Steven Aguiar, and now behind him is the 60 of Colton Lane. And Colton Lane still going nice and strong despite the bad luck he had here in tonight's race. He is in 12th place, 7 laps down, and behind him is the 911 of John LaBeouf. And John LaBeouf is still 3 laps down, so I guess he pitted in and did not get the waiver on the pace car with the 1 to go mark, like I had talked about. But that's very unfortunate, and Steven Aguiar so far is being shown ahead of him. At the same time, Steven Aguiar is holding the keys and the door to the top 10, and John LaBeouf, Eric Roberts having some bad luck as we got into the wall. He gets overtaken, and his machine does seem to be struggling. It has seen better days. At the moment, he is trying his best once again to get a groove. Very unfortunate.
Going Going back up here, Markel Murphy now under fire from the 3 of Dale Robertson. Right behind them is the 16 of Johnny Pierce, so looks like we might have a battle to see who's going to take the points lead out of tonight's race, as we are just 4 laps to go. Next flag ends the race.
Yep, and Dale Robertson, the Big D's Racing driver, catching up, actually filling up the rear view of 48 of Markel Murphy. Markel goes to the inside to try and use that defensive line to keep Robertson behind him as much as he can. 3 laps remaining here, 2 laps to go next time by fingers crossed. Matthew York only 1.0 seconds, 1 second behind the leader Daniel Wilborn. He is trying his best to catch up to him, but that is easier said than done. And he won't give up at anything. I mean, he won't give up until the job is done. And 48 of Markel starts increasing the gap in between him and the 3 of Dale Robertson. Robertson's up the apron there on the exit. Half turn, two almost got ugly for him. Kept that machine steady. And right behind Robertson still is now the 16 of Johnny Pierce. And Johnny Pierce too is a threat to Robertson.
Yeah, most definitely, as they take the white flag. White flag is out. Final lap here at Dover.
Dale Robertson under fire from the 16 of Johnny Pierce for 4th place. 16 of Pierce makes the pass successfully against the 3 of Robertson. And that bumps Robertson down to 5th place, but going back up front, Daniel Wilborn exiting turn 4 this time by. Gonna bring this thing home and challenge. Daniel Wilborn brings it home. 19 of Matthew York comes out 2nd. 48 Markel Murphy 3rd. Johnny Pierce 4th. And Dale Robertson in the 5th place spot, runs at the top 5. Jeffrey Ford 6th. Eric Roberts 7th. Trevor White 8th. Chris Perez 9th. And Steven Aguiar in the 10th place position. Great job to all these drivers and everybody who showed up tonight. It is a very, very tough track, very, very competitive at the same time, racing the track and opponents at the exact same time. Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we'll interview the top 3 drivers, Daniel Wilborn, Matthew York, and Markel Murphy. So stay tuned, and interviews and coming up. And once again, we're going to see a smoke show, fingers crossed, from Daniel Wilborn. Well, Daniel Wilborn, you earned it, brother, so please burn it down, brother. Burn it down. Alright.
Oh boy, what a... And good race at the end.
Yeah, that was fun.
Sucks to be on sleep.
There's some good donuts right there, man. You can tell he's used to winning. But how are you doing tonight, buddy? Daniel?
Doing good. How you doing?
Oh, doing good too, thank you. Well, Daniel, tonight, a heck of a performance on your part. We talked about it in the broadcast there towards the very end. You came late in the season here with the Precision Racing League, but you still did not stop you from making your name known. You've been dominant ever since your first race with us here at the Precision Racing League. Very, very impressive. And tonight, man, you had your hands full. Dover International Speedway, trying your best not to get claimed by the exit of turn 4. The looseness and the tightness, depending on however many laps on your tires you put on the machine. But how's the machine handling tonight? How did it handle?
It handled really good on a very long run. The first run was extremely tight, but after 10 laps, I went to the high side to experiment, and I got a very good run off. And it paid off right there at the end using a high line. Then made some tweaks to it for that last run, and it came alive.
Oh, copy that. Very, very glad to hear that. And yep, you seem to have that thing under control, man. You seem to have the we've talked about this, but you seem to have the long run speed which is exactly what you need. You seem to not fall off the pace. You're always consistent, and your consistency always pays off race after race. And next week, man, we'll be shifting gears, going to a different track, a whole different beast, the Tricky Triangle, Pocono Raceway, 3 turns only. With that said, buddy, what are your expectations for Pocono? What do you think you have to do to get ready for Pocono?
I won't be able to make that race. I gotta work. I work every other Sunday. But, yeah, I wish I could be able to make it. I would like to try out Pocono. I've never been pretty good there, but I would like to experiment over there.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we're sorry to hear that you won't be able to make the Pocono Raceway next week, but sounds like you'll be able to make the final race of the season, Homestead, Miami. With that, let's pre-interview you for that one. How do you feel about Pocono? I mean, how do you feel about Homestead, Miami? Sorry.
I feel like we'll have a good set over there at Homestead. I'm ready for that.
Oh, copy that. That's very good to hear. And Danny, once again, you came late in the season, so you won't be able to, unfortunately, battle for the championship with these drivers. But look forward to seeing you spanking these boys again next season, and then you can have something against them for the championship. Well, any final thoughts or words before we let you go?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Chris for the setup right here. And it took him like 15 minutes to do it, but I really appreciate it. And also racing with the Simtech racing people, Johnny and them. I'm glad to be on that team, and I'm helping them out at Pocono, try to help them out the lines and stuff like that.
Oh well, but once again, congratulate you on your second win here this season with the Precision Racing League, and a well-fought battle on your part all race long. And you talked about how your setup was built in only 15 minutes. And that just goes to show that it all goes to the driver, and you are an amazing driver, buddy, and keep up the good work. Well, we look forward to seeing you next race, buddy, Homestead Miami Speedway for the final race of the season after next week. Have a good night and go celebrate.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I'll see y'all at Homestead.
And that was tonight's race winner, Daniel Wilborn. But next in line is Matthew York, who was able to lead some laps here tonight after qualifying 5th and finishing in 2nd place. You got a copy there, Matthew?
Yeah, you got a copy here.
How you doing tonight?
Not too bad. XM Toyota Camry.
Yeah, absolutely great paint scheme on that machine. That Toyota Camry got the job done tonight. Oh, actually just got some word here, Matthew York. You led the most laps, leading 63 laps of the whole entire race. Congratulations, buddy. That was a well-fought race on your part. And tell us about your experience tonight.
Yeah, our car was very fun, except bottom lane was...
Oh, you're breaking up there?
The end car, it was, getting the run outside line. I just couldn't... Sorry, I'm breaking up with you. But it was an extremely fun race. I want to thank Decision having me here.
Oh, copy that, brother. Yeah, well-fought race on your part, and you too, Matthew. You had come late in the season, but ever since then, you've still been kicking butt every single week and not giving up, despite the couple of hiccups you've had here and there. It has been amazing seeing you race and bringing this Toyota Camry here on the podium here in tonight's race. And what are your expectations for next week's race at Pocono? We'll be shifting gears, going to a more forgiving track at the same time. It's a different beast, basically. How are you feeling about Pocono?
Is one of my favorite tracks. Really love racing there. It's all 3 turns are unique. You have to make sure your car is able to suit all 3 at the same time. Very complicated, but hopefully forward lane racing motorsport has the right setup for me, and all the guys that on my team for helping me throughout this whole season with all the setups. Really on with the setups that I've been able to. So for Pocono, yeah, it's just getting the 3 corners It's your how you use the throttle, where you lane you choose, a lot of stuff.
Absolutely, gotta work on those. Gotta work on those exits there on that track. That's where you get all the runs, so you can be able to to make those moves against your opponents. And absolutely, we look forward to the Ford Lane Motorsports team making that machine come to life once again, as usual, week after week. I look forward to seeing you in victory lane with your Toyota Camry, buddy. Well, any final words before we let you go, Matthew?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Colton for the setup. I couldn't do it. I would not be leading whatever laps I led. Colton, really appreciate him for leading the team throughout the season and for everything.
Well, Matthew, you earned the podium here tonight in second place. Great job on your part, and congratulations once again for leading the most laps. I look forward to seeing you and the Ford Lane Motorsports team next week at Pocono Raceway for round number 11, the race before the season finale. So have a good night, buddy, and go celebrate. You earned it.
Bye.
And that was the 19 of Matthew York with the Ford Lane Motorsports team. But next in line is a driver who was tied for the lead with the 16 of Joni Pierce, the 48 of Markel Murphy here, representing the Flat Out Motorsports team. Get a cup there, Markel?
Yes, sir, I do.
How you doing tonight?
I'm alright.
Well, buddy, tonight was a heck of a performance on your part. You started in the 13th place spot with no qualifying time, stayed alive, was able to keep that machine off those walls, despite those walls trying to suck that machine into him. But how's your race tonight?
The finish was great, but overall the setup was horrible. I was plowing the whole race, and I'm very lucky that I did finish top 3. To be honest, I barely had 7th place car, so I'm very surprised that I did finish 3rd tonight.
Oh, copy that. Well, buddy, it was all your hard work and determination that brought this podium home, and keeping your biggest opponent. You finally broke that tie. Actually, congratulations on that. How about that? Breaking the tie for the race lead with Joni Pierce, who finished not too far behind you, about 0.4 of a second behind you in the 4th place spot. And how do you feel the temperature tonight, the track temp, affected your machine's performance? Because we had a very high track temp of 109 degrees Fahrenheit.
I think that's the hottest track temp we've had all season. It was very unexpected, even compared to the practice rooms I've done this whole week. It really threw me a curveball. I really couldn't get a handle on it. I was surprised that I ran a 70 in practice. Other than that, I was thrown off my game tonight.
Oh, 10-4, buddy. We're sorry to hear about that. We are glad that you were able to adapt despite the misfortune you had early throughout the race, and brought home a 3rd place finish, keeping your biggest opponent behind you and breaking that tie once again for the lead. And well, going to next week's track, Pocono Raceway. The season's coming to an end, man. How are you feeling? How do you feel you've done this season? Do you feel satisfied this far?
This season has gone a lot better than last season. Have more consistent finishes. I think I have the best average finish the whole season of anybody, being that I've finished every race. But other than that, honestly, being tied for the points lead, I wouldn't even be mad if I lost. Came down to Homestead. Johnny's put up a great fight the whole season, and I just wish we had more people here to experience it.
Almost definitely, and once again, congratulations on your success this season. We are glad that this season has gone way better than last season had gone for you, as that was your rookie season as well. Well, going to next week's race, Pocono. Next week's track, Pocono. What are your expectations? What do you think you need to work on from after experiencing tonight's driving conditions here with your machine?
Pocono's not too bad. It's really just getting off the corner. Getting in the corner is easy there, but getting off the corner is a key to any type of speed at Pocono. So it's really just exit. That's really what you have to work on. Center to exit is essential for your Pocono setup to really just flow correctly.
Oh, absolutely. Otherwise, that thing is going to push like a dump truck. And that wall, once again, as usual, arms wide open, ready to grab you at any moment. And if anytime you fall short, he will take you without any hesitation. But once again, Markel, congratulations on breaking that time for the race lead, and congrats on your 3rd place finish after starting in 13th place, gaining 10 spots overall, and a successful night on your part. Well, but in final words, before we let you go, any shoutouts?
Thanks to CBS, Excess Power, Precision Racing League, all my sponsors. Thank those guys for always tuning in every week. Thanks PRL for actually continuing the series and everything. I just hope we can bring more series in so that you guys can have more work to do.
Congratulations once again, Markel, on your success in tonight's race and your success this season. As long as you're happy, we're happy. You're happy about your performance this season. You have no regrets, and that is what it takes. And we look forward to your performance next week at Pocono and your performance for the final race of the season at Homestead, Miami. And have a good night, buddy, and good rest of the week. You earned it. Go celebrate.
Thanks, guys.
And that was 48 Markel Murphy, new points leader. Congratulations to Markel Murphy, and congrats to Johnny Pierce on a well-fought battle this far this season. And Johnny Pierce will be 2nd place in points, I believe, before the start of next week's race at Pocono Raceway. And Dave, I know I came in late, but I enjoyed what I saw here tonight at Dover International Race Speedway. It was amazing seeing these drivers battle the track. Unfortunately, we had a lot of drivers have some bad luck early on, only having 9 drivers of 22 drivers who started tonight's race finishing on the lead lap. But look forward to seeing all these drivers again back next week for more, namely Ken Caruthers, Derek Pemberton, Eddie Hawks, Adam Chapman, Austin Moore, Craig Hawkins, James O'Brien, Dustin Hall, Ronald McManus, Brandon Massey, Cotton Lane, including John LaBeouf, Steven Aguiar, and Chris Perez. We look forward to seeing these drivers again back, and hopefully have a better race, better experience next week at Pocono Raceway. Oh, Dave, any what's on your mind?
Well, it was a great race. Kind of sad to see that we're coming to the end of the season, but I tell you what, I can't wait to see what next season brings here at the Precision Racing League.
Absolutely. Just like James O'Brien had talked about during his interviews a while back, he talked about how the competition is getting nothing but stiffer every single season. So with that said, if you're planning on joining the Precision Racing League, check them out. PrecisionRacingLeague.com. That's PrecisionRacingLeague.com for all the information you need to know. Also to be a part of the action next season behind the wheel of these machines. But one thing to it, you have to race your way in, because they take the best of the best drivers. They want the A++ racing, A++ game, so make sure you bring that, and you too can have as much fun as these guys have. Green flag pit stops, side-by-side racing, a lot of green flag runs. Everything you can ask for is right here, and nothing else that you need. So PrecisionRacingLeague.com and Precision Racing League on iRacing. Also want to thank GenXRacing.com and GymX.com for sponsoring this season, and also thank PrecisionRacingLeague.com for having the Dre Broadcasting aboard the action train for now 3 seasons, going on to 4th after this season ends. So I want to thank them, because without them we wouldn't be where we are today. At the same time, I also want to thank the viewers. Thank you guys for doing everything you do. Without you guys, the Dre Broadcasting Network would not be what it is today, giving us 434 subscribers. That is 434 subscribers. Our yearly goal, end of year goal, was 500. Well, for me it was 500 subscribers, but for Dave it was 450. So it looks like we are way closer to Dave's expectation than mine personally. But I want to thank you guys once again. Without you guys, we are nothing. And if you are new to Dre Broadcasting Network, thank you for tuning in, and welcome to the Dre Broadcasting Network. And for all those viewers who are not new, welcome back to the Dre Broadcasting Network. So I give a big shout out to iRacing for having the Dre Broadcasting aboard the action train here with iRacing on the iRacing portal. So I am Sean Zulu, and David Everly behind the cameras. And tomorrow we kick off the Extreme Motorsports 99.com Pro KNN series, so be sure to be there. I am Sean Zulu, and David Everly there being the main commentator tonight and producer behind the cameras, and have a good night.